Dear students, good morning. We'll resume our discussion of oscillations, and the last topic on which we uh, threw some light was energy stored in the system that is undergoing a simple harmonic motion. The energy stored in it can be kinetic energy and potential energy, which varies, and it varies interchangeably. There are positions at which kinetic energy becomes maximum, which is the mean position at which the object moves with the maximum speed. But as it reaches the extreme position, its potential energy, which is elastic potential energy in this case, that becomes maximum there. So these two energies keep interchanging, but the total energy remains constant, and that is the only constant we have come across so far. We have seen in our discussion so far that there are so many variables in the oscillating system. Its displacement varies. Its displacement is a variable. Its velocity is a variable. Its acceleration is a variable. Its kinetic energy is a variable. Its potential energy is a variable. However, the energy that we'll calculate now and know as its total mechanical energy, that is the only constant in this system. Otherwise, all these things are variable. When we say its velocity is varying, that means its momentum is varying as well. And acceleration is not constant, it is maximum at the mean position. It is zero at the mean position. Kinetic energy is maximum at the mean position and it is zero at the extreme position. And potential energy, it varies with maximum being at the extreme position, and as the object approaches the mean position, potential energy reduces to zero. So all these things are varying, but this total energy, that remains constant. And how we calculate kinetic energy, how we calculate potential energy, and then of course total energy is simply the sum of these two, but total energy, you will see, is the same as the maximum kinetic energy or the maximum potential energy, which are different at different positions. I have selected a few questions from the past papers to discuss how we calculate the energy stored in that system in the beginning. Then that energy goes on decreasing due to dissipative forces present, due to frictional forces present, due to air drag present. So let's discuss a few questions in which we are asked to calculate the energy of the system. One question which appeared in May-June 13, this is a very simple situation in which a spring is used to suspend a mass, and that is 78 gram of mass you have suspended, and you displace it a bit from the mean position, you move it down. Suppose its displacement through which you have pulled it down is 2.1 centimeters. So its amplitude is given in the statement of the question, and one more thing is given, that as you pull it down and release, it moves up and down with a certain period of oscillation, and that period of oscillation is 0.69 seconds. Now the first thing they often ask you to calculate is the angular frequency omega. What is the angular frequency omega? From all this information, this is the number that helps us find the frequency. This is 2 pi over T. So important equation that you very frequently use is omega is 2 pi over T. When you use this value of T in this equation, omega comes out to be 9.1 radian per second. With 2 pi over 0.69, we get 9.1 radian per second as the angular frequency. So as it moves up and down with this angular frequency, this is actually the angular frequency which we use in the expression x is equal to x naught cos of omega t. As we pull it down and start and it starts oscillating from the extreme position, this is the kind of expression we can use to describe how its displacement is varying with this angular frequency omega. At any instant t, we can give its displacement using this equation. This x naught is the amplitude of it. That means if I express this x and x naught in centimeters, I should use x naught is equal to 2.1, and as a result, at any time t after the oscillation starts and with this value omega, I can calculate the position x, the displacement x at any instant t. Okay, we are asked to calculate energy stored in the system. And when they say energy stored in the system, they simply means we either calculate its maximum kinetic energy or maximum potential energy. Maximum, in order to calculate the maximum kinetic energy, we need to know what is the maximum speed, Vmax. Vmax is equal to x naught omega. If you remember, this is the same expression we studied in circular motion. V is equal to r omega, and r was the radius of that orbit in which the object was moving. So it's similar. So Vmax, which was the tangential velocity in that case, it is the maximum velocity with which an object can move in the simple harmonic motion. Now, this is the amplitude of it, this is its angular frequency. So if I use this value, 2.1 into 10 raised to the power minus 2, it's important that I use SI units here. Omega, which is 9.1 radian per second, is used as it is, and this is therefore its maximum value. If I use this value in 1 over 2 mv square, with this v as v max, this is the maximum kinetic energy, and therefore when I use this value here, and the mass is 78 grams, which is therefore 0.078 into this value brought here with square, and we get the energy stored in the system to be 1.4 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 joules, which means it is 140 millijoules. So 140 millijoules of energy is stored in this object. This is its maximum kinetic energy, EK max. It is its maximum potential energy, which means EP max, and this is its total energy, because when this is maximum, this is 0, and when this is maximum, this is 0. So total energy, which is the sum of these two, will be the same as the maximum kinetic energy or the maximum potential energy. So this answer will be same if they ask us to calculate the maximum kinetic energy or maximum potential energy or the total energy that is stored in a system like this, in which a spring is used to hold a mass in this position, oscillating up and down with a certain angular frequency, and this is how we calculate its energy. Let's calculate energy in another similar question. This time it is a mass at one end of a strip, and that strip is held firmly in its position at one end. This is a springy steel strip, which means when you move it to one side and allow it to go back to the mean position, it starts oscillating between two extremes. And one information they have given us in this question is that we have moved it through 1.5 centimeter from the mean position. So this is known. The amplitude x naught is therefore known. This is 1.5 centimeters. So when I move it 1.5 centimeter from its mean position and allow it to move, it starts oscillating, executing simple harmonic motion. Its mass is also given. This is 65 grams. So 65 gram mass is now oscillating, executing simple harmonic motion. There is also a trace given in the question, a graph from which you can easily see what is the period of oscillation of it, and that is 0.3 second. Because it's not easy to make that figure here, so assuming that you can make sense of such a figure when you try such questions on your own, you can easily know that it is the kind of trace, a trace like this. This gives us the idea what exactly is the time to complete one round trip, and that is 0.3 second that we can easily see from the graph. If we want to calculate the frequency of its motion, obviously it is 1 over t. So we can easily calculate the frequency of its oscillation. But if we want to calculate the angular frequency, omega, that is either 2 pi over t or 2 pi f. So using either of these two, we can calculate the value of omega. Now, once again, the question is, what is the total energy stored in it? Let's say it's the total potential energy, the maximum potential energy stored in it, or the maximum kinetic energy with which it moves from the mean position. Either way, we can use the same formula, E, let's say Ek, the kinetic energy that we calculate is 1 over 2 mv square. Now, where this v will come from? Again, this will come from omega and its displacement. So this will reduce to 1 over 2 m x naught square omega square. So this is the formula that is again used to calculate the maximum kinetic energy of it. And when I say maximum kinetic energy, numerically it is same as the maximum potential energy, and it is same as the total energy. And this simple calculation, this time it is 65 gram mass, this is 1.5 centimeters, and this is omega square calculated using this simple expression. So all these quantities used here, we can show easily that the answer to this should be 3.2 2 millijoules. The energy stored in such a system is 3.2 millijoules. So you can easily verify this question. Let's move on to one more question. As I discussed last time, there are questions in the exam in which you are given a graph of this type in which energy is on one side along the vertical axis, and along the horizontal we have displacement x. And on this graph we have traces like this. This is a trace which shows that we have an object oscillating, executing simple harmonic motion, and this is its one extreme. Let's say it is 1.5 in centimeters, and this is 1.5 in centimeters as two extremes. That means 1.5 centimeter is the amplitude of oscillation. So it goes 1.5 centimeter on this side, it returns moving through the mean position and goes to the other extreme. But this is the manner in which its kinetic energy is varying. So kinetic energy is 0 at these two extremes, but it rises to its maximum value here when it passes through the mean position. So x is equal to 0 here. X is equal to 0 at this position means this is the mean position. Let's say we know the value here from the scale given. It's easy to read that this is 2.4 and this scale is in millijoules. So 2.4 millijoules of energy is stored in a system which has an amplitude given from this figure. Even if it is not given in the statement of the question, we should be able to read from the graph that its amplitude is known. And the other quantity that is clearly visible is the total energy stored from it. Now, if we are asked that the same system has slightly smaller amplitude and this is the energy of it, what is the new amplitude? We have questions like this in the exam. Suppose the student starts with slightly different amplitude. A student starts the same system, with different value of amplitude, with different x naught. It is 1.5 centimeter with this particular situation, but if it is different, the new energy is 18 millijoule. Instead of 2.4, it is only 18 millijoules. The energy is equal to 18 millijoules. The question is, what is the value of amplitude then, with which the system starts now with this energy 18 millijoule instead of sorry, I should read it 1.8 millijoule, because this is 2.4 and we are now starting with the less energy, 1.8 millijoule, because the amplitude is now less. So the problem is to calculate the new value of x naught. So how this calculation could be done? Let's do it here on this side. The formula that we have used already for energy Ek is 1 over 2 m x naught square omega square. This is the energy that we can see from the figure. Let's use this energy, which is already known, is 2.4 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. This is the energy with this amplitude. So 1 over 2, the mass of the system is not known, but 1.5 into 10 raised to the power minus 2 square. That is the known value of x naught, and omega square is also not known. So we don't know what is m omega square. So let's write it here. M omega square with these values known. That means m omega square is something we can work out from this simple calculation. And if I have done it here, let me share with you. This comes out to be 21.3. 21.3 is the numerical value of this product of mass and angular frequency squared. Let's use this value of m omega square for a different set of x naught and energy stored in the system. So we know the new value of x naught. So this is what the original situation was, but now that the energy is changed, it is 1.8 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. It is equal to 1 over 2 m omega square x naught square. So you can easily see that if I replace this value of m omega square in this equation, we can easily work out the value of x naught square. So with this 1.8 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 here, multiplied by 2 and divided by this 21.3, and all this taken under root gives us the new value of displacement, the amplitude. So a system which is now oscillating with slightly smaller value of x naught will obviously have a slightly smaller energy in it, and this energy, this value of amplitude comes out to be 1.3 centimeters, which was originally 1.5. So there is a change in amplitude because there is a change in energy. Now, this is the manner in which kinetic energy is varying. What is the manner in which potential energy varies? Let's have a look at that graph as well. Let's consider the same system which is undergoing simple harmonic oscillations. This is the maximum kinetic energy which is at the mean position, and as it goes to this extreme, kinetic energy becomes zero. It increases as it moves back, it becomes maximum, then it reduces to zero on the other extreme. So it continues. But what happens to the potential energy? We can predict what happens to potential energy. It is exactly opposite to what happening to kinetic energy. So at the same position here, its potential energy is maximum, and it is at the same level of this graph. So the graph should be, if I carefully draw it, it should look like this. and this is its potential energy. See, so while kinetic energy is maximum at the mean position and falls to zero as the object goes to the extreme positions, potential energy is opposite. It is zero at the mean position and it becomes maximum at this extreme and it becomes maximum at the other. So this graph simultaneously represents the variation in kinetic and potential energy. What is the graph for total energy? Total energy is either the maximum kinetic energy or maximum potential energy, and at any other position, kinetic and potential energies added will always appear on this line. So this line will always be the total energy, and as I said, this is the only constant we have. It doesn't vary. Whatever the position during the oscillation, total energy will remain constant. And this is the total energy of the system undergoing a simple harmonic oscillation. So this graph is very useful and there are several questions. I'll share with you a worksheet, not today, but on Wednesday, after you have gone through this, tried it on your own, and you have made sense of it. I'll discuss a couple of questions of this type again, and then I'll give you a worksheet, and then I'll add a few more things in the next lecture. Thank you.